Really appreciate your company this morning. We start off on a rather sad note. The left hand of a 5-year-old boy will be amputated by doctors at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital as a result of a cutlass wound he allegedly received from his stepmother. Now, the stepmother is alleged to have cut his hand with a cutlass and refused to take him to the hospital for treatment. It took the intervention of some good Samaritans who rescued the boy, raised funds and sent him to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital before he could receive treatment. Richard Kojonyako has been following this story, and here's his report.
On the rotten hand, Kofi stays with a stepmother and a biological dad at Ahomfi, a community in the Abra Sebu Kwamankese district. The stepmom allegedly cut Kofi's left hand with a cutlass when they were picking cassava sticks for the farm about 3 weeks ago. The little boy had to spend sleepless night outside when the hand began to rot and a powerful stench started emerging because the stepmom refused to care for him.
The boy said he was picking cassava sticks when the mom intentionally hit him with the knife. Mom, after 3 weeks, the mom realized the thing is swelling and is smelling. So he's not allowing the boy in the room. So he's sleeping outside the house. And he sent him, the stepmom sent him to a chemist, or I would say a drugstore. Then they gave him injection.
Director for the NCC at Abra Sebu Kwamankese, Ellen Osei, who brought the boy to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, speaks about the plight of the boy. Doctors at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital say the hand is virtually dead and amputation of the left hand is the only available option.
Currently, they are saying they have to send the boy to the theater, and they may need both parents sign a consent form so that they will amputate the hand, because the hand now is a dead hand.
Kofi would have to spend the rest of his life without his left hand after the surgical operation. These at the Abra Sebu Kwamankese district have begun investigations into the matter. Sources at the police say the stepmother of Kofi and the biological father of the boy would be picked on Tuesday for interrogation. Richard Kojonyako, JoyNews.
You're watching News Desk with me, Benis Abubeidulansa. Let's go back to our earlier story about that 5-year-old boy whose left hand would have to be amputated by doctors at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital as a result of wounds inflicted allegedly by his stepmother. My colleague Richard Kojonyako is back on the line. Richard, hopefully we get a good connection now. But briefly, you were telling us what his parents do, this 5-year-old boy.
The father is a palm wine tapper, and so when he goes on his business, he hardly comes home. So the child virtually stays with the stepmom. And the stepmom is currently pregnant and has another baby she's nursing. That is the little we know about this stepmom and the father of the child. The police at the moment have gone to the village to pick them up because the parent would have to come to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital to sign a consent form before the surgery would be done. The child is at the moment, we cannot say that he's feeling very well because when the incident happened, the stepmother refused to care for the child. And there are reports that, and I'm quoting the child, that when the first time the woman attempted caring for the hand was when she dipped the child's hand in a hot water. And so the child started crying and couldn't do anything about that. And the woman had to keep the child outside the room in the night to sleep out because of the stench that was emanating from the almost rotten hand at that moment. So it took about 3 weeks for the mother to even take him to a chemist where an injection was given to the child.
All right, Richard, do we know where this boy's biological mother is?
Well, the biological mother, we are told, is in the northern region. She is divorced at the moment. and had to go to the northern region and left the child in the care of the father because of the inheritance system.
All right. Finally, Richard, how did this come to the attention of those who took him to the hospital?
Well, the boy was supposed to accompany the mother to the farm in his current condition. And on the way to the farm, some good Samaritans spotted him and asked him several questions. And the questions led to the fact that the child was indeed suffering. And so they decided to pull some resources together. They were able to raise about 190 Ghana cedis. And then they took a vehicle to the district assembly where an intervention was sought. And so the NCC director, we saw her speaking there, had to take over the case, reported the matter to the police, and took charge of the upkeep of the child, and then took him to the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, where the doctors said that the child's hand would have to be operated upon and removed.
Thank you very much, Richard Kojo-Nyako, for those details. We will stay in touch with you. We're hoping that the parents will sign that consent form so the boy can get some relief. We are being told by doctors in the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital that this hand will have to be amputated. Sad news indeed.